Let's get started in enabling Braintree in BigCommerce. Starting in your BigCommerce admin panel, let's click on Settings on the left menu and then Payments. Now let's scroll down until you find the Online Payment Methods section and click on that. Then we will scroll down and find the Braintree in the B's, here it is, and to the far right, click on the Setup button. We will click on the Connect with Braintree button to be redirected to Braintree's onboarding flows. Click on Login. The username field could be a username or email. Type in the one that you use to log into Braintree as an administrator, and then type in your password and click on Login. Click on Authorize Access to be taken back to the settings page. The first option, titled Merchant Account ID, will pre-populate your default one from your Braintree account. Leave that as is unless you have another one in your Braintree gateway that you have previously configured and want to add it here for this BigCommerce integration. You could replace this text here if so, otherwise just leave it as is. Under transaction type, you can leave it on authorize and capture, which is a common option that will capture the funds as soon as the orders are made on BigCommerce. Otherwise, if you want to only authorize the payment and later on capture it, you can change it here. On the credit card section, you can perhaps modify this title to be more descriptive if you wish by making it debit/credit cards. To enable Fastlane, we must first enable this also within your Braintree gateway. Since we just logged into Braintree a few moments ago, we should still be logged in by clicking directly on this link here. You won't lose your BigCommerce settings page. A new tab will just open with Braintree. This will take you directly to the location in Braintree to enable Fastlane. Let me click on this button to take me to the Braintree gateway homepage to show that the option will be displayed here. Just click on the Enable Settings and it will direct you to the same place. Once we are here, we can scroll down and click on Turn On, and then yes, Turn On, and that's it. Switching back to the tab or window that had our BigCommerce settings where we left off, we can now click on Enable Fastlane by PayPal since we've just finished enabling it in our Braintree account. You're welcome to customize the appearance. That's completely optional, but we're going to leave the settings as is. We will also leave the best practice settings as is for the PayPal section, but similar to the last section, we have a quick manual enabling first if we want to display PayPal's messaging built into BigCommerce. Click on the button that says Authorize PayPal to display messaging to be redirected to a PayPal page where you will type out your PayPal email, then click Next. It will first check for your account and then type out your password and click on Log In. Then click on Agree and Connect, and then on I agree. Lastly, click on Go back to BC Store to return to your BigCommerce settings page. Here we are back. Now we can scroll back down to where we left off under Pay Later Messaging, and sure enough, the options are now successfully enabled. We're going to leave all the best practice settings as is, but you're welcome to modify them as you see fit. We'll continue scrolling down, and Venmo is already enabled here. Only enable ACH if you've previously enabled it in Braintree. On the next section, we can enable alternative payment methods here, and just make a note that irrespective of the settings that you saved above, these payment types will always process as authorize and capture. Moving on, you can enable Google Pay with one click here. In the next section, you can enable a feature to store credit cards to allow users to securely save their cards on your checkout for later use as a one-click to pay method. For additional security, you can make it so that your customers must enter their card CVV even if they are using this stored cards feature. If you do happen to enable ACH or any of the features listed on this section, click on BigCommerce's link here that will take you to instructions on setting up this notification URL in your Braintree account's webhook settings. Lastly, only if you've previously enabled it, we can enable 3D Secure as well. Make sure you've previously enabled it first in your Braintree account as it's not pre-enabled unless you request it. If you haven't, you can leave this unchecked. And now we can click on Save at the bottom right. We have now successfully enabled Braintree in BigCommerce.